Tony didn't speak unless he had to. He was massive, broad-shouldered, quiet, and built like someone made to move furniture for a living. He didn't smile, didn't joke. When he worked, he worked. No distractions, just slow, precise movements and the quiet hum of muscle and routine. Jesse was the opposite in every possible way. He was small, compact, wiry, but striking. Good-looking, with sharp cheekbones and the kind of smile that made you like him even when you didn't want to. His hair was always perfect. A swept-back, voluminous style that looked like it had been stolen from a fashion ad, somehow still pristine even under fluorescent lights at 3 a.m. Even in a janitor's uniform, Jesse looked like he belonged in front of a camera. He also never shut up. "Man, you ever notice how this place is like, way too clean to be empty?" Jesse said, twirling his mop like a baton as he followed Tony down the stark white hallway of Harlow Research Campus. Tony didn't reply. He rarely did. They were night cleaners at the sprawling off-the-books facility at the edge of town. The place was government-funded, privately managed, and utterly bizarre. The kind of place where the lights never turned all the way off, and every hallway seemed to echo even when there was no sound. Officially, they were assigned to Sector B2, a supposedly inactive part of the building. Rows of sealed glass rooms, empty labs, sterile hallways, and a silence so dense it felt like it pressed down on the skin. Unofficially, it was creepy as hell. "You don't think it's weird?" Jesse asked again. "They told us not to talk to anyone. And we never see the day crew leave. Like, do they even exist?" Tony finally grunted. "Clean." Jesse chuckled. All right. Just saying, man. Place has vibes." And then the first mirror cracked. They were in the east corridor, dusting vents. Jesse noticed it first. A wall mirror, long, spotless, and perfectly polished, had split down the center. No debris, no sign of impact. "That wasn't like that yesterday," Jesse said, stepping close. As he stared into the cracked reflection, something in his image twitched. Not him, just his reflection. His smile vanished. "Did you see?" he started. But when he looked back, Tony was already halfway down the hall, pushing his cart without a word. It got worse the next night. More mirrors, more cracks, reflections that didn't quite match. Once Jesse waved and his reflection didn't. Then came the whispers. They started around 2:30 a.m., just barely audible, like someone calling his name from a far-off room. Sometimes it sounded like a girl, sometimes like someone he recognized, his mother, or an ex he hadn't spoken to in years. The whispers came from the walls, from the vents, from the mirrors. Tony refused to look at them at all now. He passed every reflective surface with his head turned or covered them with towels. "You really think something's watching us?" Jesse asked, trying to keep his voice light, but the smile wasn't reaching his eyes anymore. Tony only muttered, "Don't look, don't listen." But Jesse couldn't help himself. He was too curious, too cocky, too sure that whatever was happening, it wasn't going to get him. He even brought a camera the next night. "I'm just going to record one hallway," he said. "If anything shows up, we've got proof. Could go viral, might even get us out of this dump." Tony's jaw clenched, but he didn't argue. He just pointed at the map. "Stay out of Corridor 9. But Corridor 9 had the biggest mirror in the sector. That's where Jesse went, alone. At exactly 3:03 a.m., Jesse stood before the mirror with his camera raised. He looked good. Even in the flickering hallway light, his hair was still immaculate, his uniform half untucked in a way that made it look intentional. He grinned at his reflection, gave a wink. "Okay, haunted hallway, show me what you got." Behind him, the reflection didn't smile. In the viewfinder, the mirror looked like liquid, swirling, black, and endless. Jesse frowned. "Wait." The reflection blinked, but Jesse hadn't. Then it stepped out. It had his face, his flawless hair, his exact smirk, but the eyes were glass, hollow, reflective. No irises, just swirling silver black. Before Jesse could scream, the double reached forward and touched his chest. Jesse didn't vanish. He froze, locked in place. Then his mouth opened, wider than humanly possible, and a crack spread down his face like shattered porcelain. The double stepped into his place, turned off the camera, smoothed its hair, then walked back toward Tony. Tony was waiting. He saw the thing before it spoke. It smiled Jesse's smile, walked with Jesse's swagger, but the eyes... "I told you not to wake it up," Tony said quietly. Jesse's double cocked his head. "I just wanted proof," it said with Jesse's perfect voice. "But I'm better now. No more nerves, no more noise." Tony didn't flinch. He gripped the mop handle like a club. "I'm not letting you out of here." The double grinned. "You can't stop it. There's more of us now. We've been watching, waiting. You're the last real one left." Tony raised the mop. The lights blew out. When the emergency backup clicked on, the hallway was empty. Just a mop on the floor, and the sound of slow, quiet laughing in every mirror. The next morning, the building supervisor checked the security feed. At 3:33 a.m., Tony and Jesse stood side by side in the hallway. Then there were 3 of them, then 4, then static. No one ever found the real Jesse or Tony. But the new janitorial team says the mirrors in Sector B2 are always freshly cleaned, even though no one touches them. And if you look too long into them, you'll see someone staring back. Someone who looks like you, smiling and waiting.